What if you could draw on your phone and have it appear instantly on an OLED display connected to an ESP32? Or send text wirelessly from any browser without installing a single app? Well, that's exactly what I built. Meet PixelLink, a web-based pixel editor that lets you send text and hand-drawn graphics directly to an OLED display over Wi-Fi. Well, it sounds simple, but building it took weeks of learning JavaScript, WebSockets, bitmap conversion, and solving bugs that I never expected. So, let me show you how PixelLink evolved from a blank web page into a complete wireless drawing system. Let's get started. So let me tell you something about our components that you're gonna need in this project. First, you're gonna need, of course, a microcontroller, which will be our ESP32. Okay, Node MCU ESP32 board. Then we're gonna need a OLED display to show our images and text. And you need some jumper wires to make the connection, a breadboard according to your size, right? And also you need a battery, right? I'm using this battery to supply this OLED display. It is a 3.7 volt 1000 mAh lithium ion battery, and I'm gonna use it or using it to supply this OLED display. And we're gonna give supply to the microcontroller with our USB cable, right? And yeah, that is all the components. And also one more thing you're gonna need, of course you're gonna need a laptop or a system computer. Also you need a mobile device or a tablet to run the program, upload the program, and also open the web page where you can draw or text, type text, right? So these are the all components for this project. And let's talk about the circuit connection. So this here you can see the circuit connection is very simple. Okay, I'm connecting the SCL and SDA pin of the OLED display with the pin number 22 and 21 of the Node MCU, and the ground is connected to the ground of the Node MCU. And I'm supplying the OLED display externally with this battery. Okay, and also make sure to ground the battery connection with the Node MCU too to make the connection closed. Okay, so this is the basic circuit connection for this project. It is very easy. Okay, so now let's jump to the most important part. First thing I did was create a basic web server on the ESP32. When I typed the ESP32's IP addresses into my browser, this page appeared. Nothing fancy, just a simple web page, but this was the first step because it proved that the ESP32 could host its own website. Next, I connected the ESP32 to my Wi-Fi network. Now, any device on the same network could access the web page. That meant I could control the ESP32 from my computer or even my phone. But there was one problem. Refreshing the web page every time I wanted to send data would be slow. So instead of using normal HTTP communication, I switched to WebSockets. WebSockets create a permanent communication between the browser and the ESP32. That means data can travel instantly in both the directions. No page refresh, no waiting, just real-time communication. To make sure everything was working, I added a connection status indicator. Whenever the browser connected to the ESP32, the red disconnected icon instantly changed to green. That little green dot told me the communication was alive. Once the connection was working, I added a text box. Now I could type any message, press a button, and the ESP32 would receive that text over Wi-Fi. At first, I wasn't displaying anything on the OLED. I just printed the received text inside the serial monitor because before displaying anything, I wanted to make sure that the communication itself was working perfectly. Once I confirmed the ESP32 was receiving the text, I connected the OLED using the Adafruit SSD1306 library. I displayed the received messages, and for the first time, whatever I typed in the browser instantly appeared on the OLED screen. Seeing the display update wirelessly without uploading new code every time, it's already felt pretty amazing. But then I thought, if I can send text, Why not send drawings? So I replaced the plain web page with a drawing canvas. Initially, it was just a normal HTML canvas, but I could draw using the mouse. But there was a catch. See, the thing is, an OLED display doesn't understand smooth brush strokes, right? It only understands pixels. So I transformed the canvas into a giant 128 by 64 pixel grid. Each square on the web page represented exactly 1 pixel on the OLED. Now, whenever I clicked, I wasn't painting anymore, I was literally turning an OLED pixel on and off. Behind the scenes, every pixel was stored inside a two-dimensional array, that is your pixel 64 by 128, and each value was either 0 or 1, black or white. Then I added an upload button. Instead of sending thousands of individual pixels, the browser packed the entire drawing into a compact bitmap. The ESP32 then received the binary data, decoded every bit, and reviewed the image on the OLED screen. I mean, the very first successful upload, guys, was honestly one of my favorite moments in this project. Now comes the fun part, actually building the PixelLink. At first, the goal was surprisingly simple. I just wanted to open a web page from my computer, type some text, press a button and see that the text appear on the OLED display. So after fixing every single issue, PixelLink finally worked. I could open the web page from my computer or my smartphones, draw anything, press upload and watch it instantly appears on the OLED screen. And that's how I built the PixelLink. What started as a simple web page hosted on an ESP32 gradually evolved into a wireless pixel editor that can send both text and drawings directly to an OLED display. This project challenged me in many ways I did not expect. From Wi-Fi communication and WebSockets to JavaScript, bitmap conversion and OLED graphics, every step taught me something new. And honestly, that's what I enjoy most about building projects like this. They are not just about the final result, they are about learning, solving problems and creating something from the scratch. This is only the beginning for the PixelLink. I already have idea for future versions like image import, drawing tools, animation, support for larger display and much more. If you like to see those updates, make sure to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss the next version or the next video updates. If you enjoy this project, leave a like and let me know in the comment section what feature you would add in the PixelLink. Thanks for watching and I will see you in the next video. Peace out.